Dadmod's Media Machine presents the Brews with the Dudes podcast.
Man, every time that there's a countdown to anything, I always want to sing the final countdown.
Oh, say that's the first that popped in my head. It's that dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun.
Which is so dumb. Like,
it's
why?
very dumb. I have
Why
no
is
clue.
it that you want to, like, something so obvious that's...
I don't know. It's not even a good song.
No, it's really not. I mean, doesn't it
No,
have, like,
it's-
a really cheesy synthesizer in it?
Yeah, very cheesy synthesizer. The lyrics aren't too creative either.
Oh, no?
No, with a head into Venus, something. Yeah,
I
don't know.
Heading to Venus.
It's your decade of music. It's not my decade.
Well, it's not necessarily the genres I was listening to.
Fair
Unless Pantera did the final countdown, it wasn't really in my
Yeah,
my zeitgeist.
I can't really see Green Day or The Offspring
Yeah.
covering the final countdown.
Well, that totally would have been. Offspring were very much in my music library.
Actually, I could kind of see Offspring maybe doing a cover of it just because they're quirky and they're fun.
They are a very fun band, yeah. I
But-
can see them doing it.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to another Brews with the Dudes podcast. So we're doing this a little bit differently, as you can tell. We're experimenting with a second software, and hopefully this one actually makes it to being aired, because the first one was so bad that we just chose to
God.
not even release it.
Yeah, so this will hopefully work out. So far, this looks like a way better program. Everything
far.
looks nicer. We have more control over it, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, we have to experiment with this just because of the plague going around. So my youngest daughter and myself both got the COVID. And
The Rona.
yeah, and we're like right on that cusp of like we still might be contagious, we might not be. So just to be safe, we're trying to do this.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
I don't-
it's I know it's so ridiculous. Like we of course, like we've ran into this situation now. Like we made
Yeah.
it this whole time. We were so fucking careful. And now here we are at the tail end. And I mean, I don't know what's happened with us because we've of course had sniffles, but nobody's really had any fevers or anything. So it's like, well, I had a fever, but then I realized I had a fever because I had a hot pad on my back and it's like a corn-filled bag that's really
Yeah.
good for like, you ever use those? Yeah.
Yep.
I had one on
muscle
my
legs.
knee because my knee was hurting like hell. So here I'm being an old man and I'm cooking myself, so my body temperature rose, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have a temp!" And we all panicked, and then I woke up the next morning, and even like that night, I was back to like 90 or 80 or 98 something or 99.1 or
I was
whatever.
gonna say,
It was-
hopefully not in the 80s because you'd probably be dead.
Yeah, probably.
See, and that's the funny thing. So Ember, our youngest who had it, she's 9 months old, and she had a cough, which is why we took her to the doctor. She had a bit of a cough. It was a Friday morning, and we're like, you know what? They're closed over the weekend. Let's just be safe. There's a bunch of shit going around. And sure as shit, she comes back positive. I felt fine until Tuesday morning. I had a little bit of a sore throat and a cough, and my boss was going to make me get tested anyways. So okay, yeah, let's do a test there, and I shit you not. So it's like a pregnancy test. There's 2 lines. If you get both the lines, it's a positive test. Well, I had the one solid line, and if you looked at it just right and kind of squinted, you can maybe make out a second one. Like we had 3 different people look
So
at it.
funny.
Yeah, we had 3. I looked at it. I was like, maybe I had my boss and somebody else look at it, and we just said, you know what, just to be safe, go home, take a different test, and let's go from there. And then I went to Walgreens, and sure as shit, that one came back positive. But like
That's so silly.
Tuesday morning, like I said, I kind of had a cough, but by Tuesday night, I had a fever of 102.3.
That's pretty good.
I was out. Like I was just didn't want to move. I couldn't get up off the couch. No appetite. Cold as shit. And then Wednesday, it's like I felt 50% better right off the bat Wednesday. like still had a little bit of a fever and still like achy and just didn't want to do anything, but I didn't feel like death. I'm like, oh, I just feel sick. I just want to sit on the couch and watch movies all day. By the end of the week, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of sitting inside. Like, let's go for a drive. Let's get out of the house a little bit and do shit. It's so weird.
Well, I bet, dude. It's got to be weird and kind of, well, obviously isolating because you literally have to isolate. So all you can really do is just sit inside and watch movies. That's about
which,
it.
luckily, we have a spot to do that. But it's like I just stayed in the movie room. I had 4 blankets and just hung out there. Unless I had to go to the bathroom or I wanted soup, I did not leave that room.
Oh, damn.
No, just hibernated. But it's just weird how like it's really bad one day, then the next day instantly it's like, oh, I'm sick, but I probably could have like gone to work or at least done something. It was that much better overnight. But it's just
that's so wild. Well, and to think that like, well, it's a novel virus, so it's like some people are getting just completely laid out. I mean, like obviously people are dying, but there's like a big segment of the population that get it so bad that they end up, on ventilators and shit.
Oh
like,
yeah,
tiptoeing on death.
My parents got it. My stepdad's an overweight diabetic. He got sick, but not like deathly ill. My mom, who's healthier, I should say, she ended up going to the hospital and was put on oxygen for a couple of weeks. So it's like,
crazy.
What the hell? What do? You just hope for the best?
I guess. I don't know. It certainly exploits some weaknesses if you've got any.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is Harper and Roman both seem completely fine. Mm-hmm. And Christine she never had a fever. She had a cough and just, like, she felt kind of icky for about a day. But just a cough and just kind of an icky feeling. No fever, no chills, nothing else. She never even got tested because she's just like, it's just a cough. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
So
I know that's why this whole thing is so ridiculous. There's kind of like no winning because either you have to test for every little teeny tiny symptom, regardless of if it turns out to be allergies or if it's like a regular cold or if it's literally the Rona. You'd have to test for every little teeny thing because the symptoms of COVID are the common fucking cold. Yeah, and the only thing that's really unique is that you can lose your sense of taste and smell.
Yeah, which not everybody gets. Like I could still kind of taste things. Like nothing was sharp, It was like driving a car with a misfire. Like it still worked, but it just wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
So but I can smell everything fine. So yeah, it's so fucking weird. But I'm kind of happy I got it and I'm done with it because now I have the antibodies and I can just, I don't want to say I not care, but I don't have to worry about that shit getting back into our house now for a while.
Well, yeah, exactly. I know it's just like the peace of mind of not having to worry about like how your body's gonna react and all that kind of stuff. Like you had it and it was like super mild, so that's nice.
Ooh, bummer! You had to watch movies for a day. Okay.
Yeah.
I watch war films when I'm sick. So I just watch some war films.
It's hilarious. So our big issue is that if one of us gets sick, Atticus is out of school for 15 days.
Yeah, which is fucking nuts.
It is crazy. That's the
nuts.
rule if you get sick. And I don't know if like you can test the kid and prove that they're not sick and they can go back, or if it's literally just straight 15 days. If you've got the Rona, it's 15 days. And I believe that that's the rule. Like there's no way around it.
That seems a little over the top. Especially kids, they eat dirt. They don't wash their hands after going to the bathroom. Like, they always have the sniffles. They always have a cough. They're little germ factories. They're children.
Right.
So, again, as a parent, are you like, okay, he sneezed, well, I guess I'm going to go get him tested for the 4th time this week.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you do?
Well, the much harder thing, testing the kids sucks. Like having to shove a Q-tip up your kid's nose is awful because they don't want it there, so they fight. and you end up restraining your child.
You gotta like
do the
do the
nose tickle.
headlock and you're jabbing them and
Literally.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep, it's a two-person job, especially with my son. We
That's-
haven't tested my daughter. She's
It was like that for Harper. She freaked out too. 'Cause she got a COVID test when COVID first hit, so she got the brain tickler. She had to go do
yeah.
that test the very first time she came in contact with somebody at school, and she remembers that shit. And we went to go take her a couple months ago. I'm like, Harper, like it'll be fine. They're just gonna take a Q-tip, and she's like, it hurt last time. It made me cry. I'm like, that was a different. I tried to explain to her like that's a different test. Like you'll be fine. It's nowhere near that. And still, like she had to sit on my lap. I kind of had to hold her down because she was that scared to get it done again.
Yeah,
And
that
then,
sucks.
then she gets it done. I told her, I'm like, that's not so bad. She's crying. She's like, yeah, it was. I'm like, you're full of shit, kid. you wanted to think it was that bad, but it's not that bad. So
It's so funny how kids will blow things out of proportion like that.
oh God. So this was, I don't know how old she was. Probably 3 or 4. She had a wellness checkup and got a couple of shots at the doctor's. And like 2 days goes by, and at the time we just had Hades. We were down to one dog. Apollo was over at my parents' house, and we were going to go look at a Dalmatian over in Superior at the animal shelter. And they ended up getting rid of the dog by the time we got over there. But we're looking at the dogs, and one of the vets comes out wearing a lab coat to treat one of the animals. And Harper sees this vet come out, cries, and hides behind Christine because she thought she was going to get more shots.
Oh, Jesus.
She freaked the fuck out, and we just laughed at her. It's like, she's not here for you. She's here for the dogs. We're not going to take you to an ant. You lost me?
Oh, you're back. Little
You're back?
hiccup.
Okay.
I worry you might not have a very good internet connection. I don't know what your video
Oh, no.
looks like on your end, but it's pretty potato-y over here.
It looks great on my end.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's coming through pretty good then. It's all an
great.
experiment. Like, we have no idea what to expect.
For some reason, though, under my name, it says guest 1080p 99% uploaded.
Yeah. I mean, that's
So,
a
I don't
part
know
of the
what that's about.
software. It's just telling you, basically it uploads your video and
Okay.
audio, and then the files get downloaded later on. It's a pretty cool setup.
oh, okay, that's why. No, it still thinks it's on Wi-Fi for some reason. Well, no, because it says connected with the cable. Weird.
Okay, if it says
I don't
connected with Ethernet, then it's probably
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
We'll see what it
I
looks
don't-
like.
Who knows? Maybe it is all
Sorry,
potato-y.
viewers.
It's always something.
It is always something, man. It's ridiculous. So, did you hear that the Nissan 400Z they're coming up on some more release information? They're thinking
I
like the
did not.
spring it might actually be coming out.
No shit.
Yeah,
I
so
did
they're
not realize that.
they're setting the price point, I think, for like the entry level version in the 40s. So like it might be low 40s.
Okay. That's
To put into perspective, that's pretty good because
Yeah.
it's going to keep up with the Supra, and the Mark V Supra,
true.
the good one is priced in the 60s.
And completely honest, I think the Z looks a little bit better. I think the Z is a gorgeous looking car. So
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
like the front end as much as the Supra, but the body lines of the Z are very
Oh.
classic.
yep,
Fair
it's
lady look.
it's just that big radiator opening in the front that they need to do something with. Put something there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you boost it and you put a big intercooler there, like that's gonna look pretty sweet. So
It'll it'll be a lot of intercooler if they do it that way. Or if somebody throws a big... it is turboed. I mean, it's a twin
Oh, that's
turbo
true.
V6, so if they put
I forgot it was
a
twin
massive
turbo.
front mount up there, if it doesn't already have a front mount, but...
maybe
Yeah,
it does.
um,
That's why they did it that way.
I mean, I'm excited, and I think that, like, Toyota kind of has to bring out the 6-speed finally. So up until this point, you couldn't get a 6-speed for the new Mark V Supra. So they have this badass inline six that makes 380 horse or whatever it is, or 400 horse.
It's a BMW motor.
Yep, just a killer engine and drivetrain, but no manual transmission. And then they also have the 2.0 version, which is another BMW motor. It's a turbocharged four-cylinder. It's a turboed four-cylinder that makes 300 foot-pounds of torque from the factory.
Damn.
Yeah, it sounds pretty badass.
So, with the Supra back out there and the Z and all that, I wonder if we're going to see any other classics kind of make a comeback. Like I
don't know.
I would love to see if Toyota brings back the MR2.
Yeah, Toyota's done a good job of kind of getting back to the enthusiasts game by having the GR86. Well, it was like I think the GT86 in previous years, but the new one's a GR86 and it's an upgraded model, definitely over the previous version. But I know that there's been chatter about doing an MR2 offshoot, but I don't know if the market's quite there to support it. Like, they've really kind of put themselves out there by doing the Supra and having the GR86. I don't know if they would throw in another enthusiast car or not. Maybe electric.
Yeah, I was gonna say do an EV MR2.
That could be kind of cool.
It'd be a small enough platform. You wouldn't need a whole lot.
Right. Well, and so what kind of has me intrigued about what the price point of the Z is going to be is if they're talking, like, if this is the twin turbo V6 that's coming in the low 40s, and the performance Supra, like, if there's comparable power numbers and stuff, but one is coming in $10,000 or $15,000 less, like, I mean, that's going to be such a game changer. Like, it's going to force Toyota to drop their price potentially.
I was gonna say that's enough money that even if you like the Supra more, 15 grand that's a good chunk of change.
That's a shitload of money in the
long run. At that point, you're looking like, well, I still really like the Z. I'd prefer a Supra, but a Z, I can live with that to save 15 grand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm really hoping that Honda kind of brings something back. There's every other year there's chatter about a new version of the S2000, but nothing ever comes out of it because I think Honda's kind of put all of their eggs in the NSX basket, and for good reason. The new NSX is a masterpiece of a car.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just you gotta miss that little roadster.
They do that, and they do the SI badge on the Civic. It's like their other two flagships as far as sports cars go.
Well, the Civic Type R. You can get the Civic Type R, and that thing's
that's what it is. That's right. But I would like to see them bring back the S2000, and then some form of the Integra / RSX. Really sporty two-door front-wheel drive car. I'd love to see that. The R is cool, but it doesn't wow me. It's like it's almost too over the top. So,
well, they lost their lines for sure.
Yeah, that's
Hondas used to be simple, like really simple, smooth.
Yeah, and they're easy to work on. That was all the fun.
Now they look like somebody's designed it with a ruler. It's got to be much too much. Too many angles.
So somebody has an education and they designed it.
Yeah. Hey, can you do that somewhere else? That audio is really loud.
I can't hear anything.
Oh wait, you're not hearing that?
No. So
sorry.
She can go back to beating the meat or whatever it is she's doing over there.
You're okay. No, it's just a bunch of paper bags and stuff. I guess Donnie's not hearing it, so the people probably aren't hearing it. I wouldn't want to upset the people, all 15 of them.
Hey, Glenn's gonna get pissed about this.
No, I think we're actually between all the platforms. I think we're in 3 digits now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're at like 100.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. We can't get our audio or our video ever right.
We need to get these wives to start flashing their boobs. Then we'll get the real views. We'll do the OnlyFans for that, right?
There'd be two
We
of
don't
us.
make
It's
money
just
on
you and I.
YouTube. Mhm.
And I think OnlyFans would probably cost us more money because you and I'd be subscribing to our own channel like crazy.
If my wife was flashing her titties all over OnlyFans, yeah, I'd subscribe. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been so much fun at my house of just all the cold and sickness and
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
no,
So
no.
far, we've got everybody in good health over here, so that's nice. We finally kicked all of the bugs,
That's
whatever it
good.
was.
Yeah,
Everything tested negative, so God knows what this was that we got.
I'm gonna test tomorrow again, so that way I can see if I'm still contagious or not, just to be safe.
Hmm.
But I'd say if we hear back by Sunday, we should be good to go. Oh,
Sounds good.
well,
Yeah,
we'll see.
we won't be able to do podcasting at your place for a little while until we know for sure that
Huh.
like everybody's cleared.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
At least we can
yeah,
hang out and do garage saves.
yeah, exactly. Well, you know the funny thing is we're gonna be at the point now, like the front end of the Ford is basically done.
I
So
saw that.
it's the shock waves are in, control arms are all bolted up, so
Nice.
she sits very low. Actually
Good.
lower than the front jack. So the jack that used to go underneath it.
Yep.
Now the car actually goes down and then it got stuck. Like the jack got stuck underneath it, and which I did not expect. I thought that it was gonna sit high enough that I was gonna be able to pull the jack out, because I knew that it wasn't gonna have as much travel as a conventional bag.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's it's
So,
lower actually.
do you have it plumbed as well, or just the shockwaves in?
So the airlines are ran up into the engine bay, so they haven't been
Okay.
passed through into the inside of the car yet.
Okay.
That's I finally got those things kind of figured out today. So that's going to be the next step is us running the air management inside the car and then kind of getting
Nice.
all that figured out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah,
sweet.
I
I'm stoked.
ordered badges for the BMW. They showed up and decided we're gonna keep that dash cap for now because they reimbursed me $65. It's like, well, that's over half of what I paid for the stupid
Yeah.
thing. So okay, whatever. I can live with it. It looks better. I can live with it for now. So yeah, so that just needs to get taped in whenever we have a semi-warm day. Just so
You're okay with
frigid
an
weather.
ill-fitting dash cover.
Yeah, for
That is
now,
that
like,
cheap.
yeah, it's like it's not great, but it was essentially $40. Like, I can't go wrong there. I can't argue with $40. So
So it costs $40 in total.
after they reimbursed me, yeah.
Okay.
So it was like 110 after tax and shipping, and then they reimbursed me $65. So
For something that you're not going to keep forever?
yeah,
When you
So
could
it
have
cost
gotten
me-
all your money back?
I figured for $40, it'll at least look good enough for Motorhead Madness. It'll cover up the
Mhm.
cracks. And then in the future, if I can find a clean dash, awesome. Or we decide to wrap it or try and fix that one.
Oh,
So-
that's right. Because
so-
all of the dash caps fit like that, right? It's
Yep.
kind of that issue.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. From what I've seen from YouTube videos, people are like, yeah, they're so hit and miss that you just can't guarantee a good one.
Okay.
So I figured I
That
figured
makes
for
sense.
$40 for a temporary solution, I'm okay with that. I'm okay spending the $40 for a temp solution. And that buys us time. Maybe we get it in, and I have those the vent holders for the gauge pod holders that go in the vents that delete the vents and stuff. And maybe we put the boost gauge and coolant gauge up there, and it actually looks pretty good, and you can't even notice that it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Great, you know. So
We'll
figured, yeah, we'll see. That's it. So I still need to steal the alignment plates from you though, so I can adjust my alignment.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
But-
We'll be aligning both vehicles.
Yeah,
When
it's
we,
nice
uh,
having
bond.
the thing run and drive though, because like I'm not stressed about it. I know Motorhead Madness is coming up quick, and I have a couple of little things still to do, But I'm not like, oh my god, I gotta get the engine bay painted and the motor back in and figure out a coolant system and all that kind of crap. Like it runs. It's like, okay, cool, I gotta bleed
God.
brakes.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to not be kind of treating everything down to the wire. Like,
Yeah.
I could try and hustle and get the rear end figured out so that the whole thing is completely on bags and it's, it's all kind of figured out. But I know that there's going to be some kind of hiccup inevitably.
The
I know
one
that
part-
building links for the rear end isn't going to be the most straightforward thing in the world.
Yeah.
Doing the welding, you should really pull the gas tank out. So it's like, it's one of those things, there's a lot of room for little hiccups along the way. So it's like, you know what? We're going to static drop the rear end or maybe do air over leaf and just leave it that way until after the show. And then it's like, it's getting a Explorer 8.8 and it's getting disc brakes in the back and it's getting a link set up.
And knowing your luck, there'd be like one crucial part that you need that's on back order because it's from one supplier that's short-handed or short supplies. And you can't get it for 2 months.
Oh,
So,
totally.
Like, the one dumb piece that is so minor would just hold you up because that's how this shit works every single time. Well, look at my blow-off valve. That was one of the first parts I bought for the dumb car, and it was one of the last parts I received because it was on back order for 3 months.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Like, it's just a blow-off valve. It's aluminum with a spring in it. Come on.
Yeah, it's funny how that's been working out. I mean, I know everybody's been, it's just like car parts are taking forever to show up. Super frustrating, I guess.
No more overnight parts from Japan. This doesn't happen anymore.
Not yet. Once everybody irons their shit out here, but it almost sounds like it's going to take forever for these supply chains to get figured out. It's like once you disrupted it, there's a backlog of everything, and as long as this stupid pandemic is going on, they've got a shortage everywhere.
Well,
I mean, you got to run the what was it, the LA Harbor or something like that is running 24/7 now.
Yeah.
Just to try and catch up on backlogs.
So what you do?
I don't think it's going very good from what I've heard.
What you do is you shut down the internet for like 2 to 4 weeks. Just shut it down. No internet whatsoever. Because then people can't order shit. There are no more orders for an entire month.
And they can't be tugging on their tallywhackers at work.
Exactly.
So they get more done.
Exactly. Less touching yourself, less ordering, more productivity.
It sounds like the solution is fascism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, see, look,
so
we
I don't
can
think
figure out all our
that's.
problems.
I mean, that might solve the problem, but it might create some other problems.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe people will go outside and do shit for once.
Yeah, but everyone will be working all the time. No, I don't know. Yeah, we all just need to like go smell the roses for a minute.
Yeah, go for a walk. Go hug a tree. Do something.
Hug a tree.
Go hug a tree.
Go try to hug a rabbit. Do you got a shitload of rabbits in your yard right now?
We have one that's out there every single morning I go to start my truck. Cause
I wonder if everybody has a yard bunny.
Well, here's the fucking thing. Our yard bunny is fucking stupid because he always sits about 15 to 20 feet off the back porch.
Oh,
And I let Hades out to go to the bathroom in the morning because he's an old man.
Do we have the same yard bunny?
So every fucking morning I let the dog out and all I hear is, and I see the little bunny scurrying under the fence out to the alley. And it's like,
awesome.
Dude, like, what the fuck, bunny? Like, you haven't learned that there's dogs that live in this house, and he knows
he's
gonna come outside.
He knows he's not gonna get got, so he just like waits. He's like, I'm gonna be close to this house because these are my people.
Fuck that dog.
And then the dog's gonna come out, and I'm just gonna like scurry away because I know I'm good. It's gonna be one of those things though. It's like the one time he's gonna get like his little leg stuck on something.
He's gonna step on ice or something.
And then here comes your hooch coming in. gnawing
Well,
on the poor little thing.
we had yard bunnies a couple years ago. We had a female bunny give birth in our yard.
Oh
And
no.
we were mowing one day, and luckily, like you're paying.
Did you find it with a mower?
No, we came close. We got within about 2 feet of it.
That
We're
is
like,
scary.
Holy shit! We're like, that's a nest full of bunnies, and it's like that almost became a nest full of bunny meat and fluff.
Yeah, it would end up looking like spaghetti meatballs.
Yeah, and then the funny thing is
I've
like
heard of that happening. That's some sad shit.
Yeah, like what? So we stopped obviously, and we got gloves on. We went to go take care of them, and most of them scurried away and they ran off. But there was one bunny that like refused to leave the nest. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you do with the fucking? Like, I don't know what to do with a baby bunny. I barely know what to do with my babies. Yes, we raised it. We put in a little bib on it, and we fucking fed it milk and all that shit.
You're like feeding it wild rice soup and
bunny stew and
mac and cheese
with hot dogs.
They eat, right? Don't they eat pasta? I don't know.
Yeah, no shit. What do you mean you don't want chocolate? You're a bunny. But we ended up taking it up, just put it in a cooler and took it up. There's a place called
threw it off the bridge.
Put it in a bag with a bunch of rocks and
you attached it to your kite and went down to Canal Park on a windy day.
Something like that. Well, there's was a wilderness something or other. I can't remember the whole name of the company, but there's some non-profit that we dropped it off, and they're like, "Oh, typically they'll just go do their thing." I'm like, "Well, this one fucking didn't."
Yeah, said hell no.
That's how I picked it up. So, and they raised it for a couple weeks, make sure it was all healthy, and they released it into the wild and all that jazz.
That's super cool.
No, we still have one bunny that just hangs out. Don't know why. He's just fucking dumb.
It just hangs out.
Yeah.
No, that's good though. Like, it's good to know that we've got these places that actually cater to wild animals, because we have a lot more run-ins with that. Like, I don't find myself with like stray dogs in my backyard or stray cats. There's neighbor cats. There's outdoor neighbor cats that'll poke around every once in a while, but I get a lot more run-ins with little wild animals that appear lost than anything else.
Duluth is notorious that once a year there's a story of a bear somewhere in somebody's yard, you know? Somebody's trash can stuck in somebody's tree. Every year. And it's always like the weirdest places too. It's not like up in Hermantown where it's heavily wooded. It's like Mesaba Avenue. There's a family of bears walking by. You're like, what the fuck? It's the
like
middle of downtown.
Which is basically a giant peninsula that you have to like cross a bridge to get to.
Like was Mama Bear with the
bear
cubs
out there like rummaging in trash cans?
Yeah, and you're like, how the hell did you get out there? Did you swim? Did you find a hollow log and use it as a canoe and like float it out there?
You know, it's funny. Like, I have a interesting relationship with bears because I grew up so far out in the woods that like bear run-ins were a regular occurrence for me.
Oh man.
And they're not a big deal. Like black bears, like each different type of bear, you have a different response to try and survive with. But when it comes to the black bears, they're so like not interested in fucking with you that you get big. Like basically just be big and they'll just scurry away. Look at them wrong, they'll just scurry away. Like they're pretty chill things. So we would see black bears all the damn time, and it wasn't even a big deal at all. So it was just sort of like this woodland creature that is an apex predator, but kind of just doesn't fuck with you. So
it's kind of doofy and just kind of.
It's just kind of there. Yeah. I was way more scared of the moose that were out there.
Oh
the moose and the wolves.
I've heard moose are pretty intense. I've only encountered
moose
wolves.
Are not to be fucked with.
I've only encountered wolves one time, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I was actually with the wife.
Was it a timber wolf?
No, it was a gray wolf. This was down in Kansas. We went down there to see family, and my great grandmother had. Well, I mean, technically the farm's still in the family, but she had a farmhouse with a bunch of acreage and stuff, and her closest neighbor was like a mile, 2 miles away from her house. And so, we'd walk the dirt roads and go exploring and all that. And we were down there visiting, and Christine and I went out for a walk, and there's an old train car that I wanted to take her to. So we hop the fence and go into the field, and the train car is maybe 80 yards away from us, and we're walking up to it, and we have my grandmother's dog with us, and then all of a sudden, this wolf was fucking massive, but just this big fucking wolf just hops out and just kind of stares at us. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
We're fucking turning around because it's not just one wolf. Like, there's other wolves somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just happy the dog didn't see the wolf and start getting all territorial and barking and shit like that.
Yeah, wolves are not to be fucked with, for sure.
No, they're so fucking smart.
Yeah, I've definitely had some run-ins. We've got a pack that lives up by my cabin, and they weren't a problem when I was growing up. There was only an occasional timber wolf, but now it sounds like there's actually a pack that's out there. So you have to be extra careful. And we've got about 60 acres up there, and there's a really... It's called the pothole. I don't know why my grandpa called it this.
A little,
I don't know. I mean, it's a little pond, and they call it the pothole. And I'm gonna guess maybe it's just kind of pot shaped, but there is a little bit of partying in my family's history. So
on a nice summer day, it's just really dank.
Yeah, exactly. Like I go out there and my mouth might start watering, but I don't know. So it's out in the middle of nowhere. But now you kind of got to be a little careful when you go out there. You should really carry a sidearm because you might have a run-in. So the wife and I, and this was probably 7 years ago. She was girlfriend at the time. We were staying up in my little cabin, and we were out on a walk with our little dog, who's like all of 16 pounds or something like that. We were walking down the little trail, and then all of a sudden he freezes, and his hair stands on end, and he starts like whimpering, and I knew exactly what that meant. The wife wasn't quite as sure. She was just like, "What's going on with the dog?" And I'm like, we gotta turn around. Like, I was like,
we're going back now.
We have no protection. Like, I mean, I'm not carrying a knife. I don't have a sidearm on me. Like, normally I'd at least have a knife on me out there.
I gotta ask.
So I've got this little bitch dog.
Are you at least faster than your wife?
Am I faster than Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're fine. You just don't.
I mean, you know who is the lowest on that totem pole.
Yeah, just don't be bottom. That's
it. She's too good looking. I can't allow that. I like her too much. No, it was a little sketchy. I mean, we never saw anything, but they are also, especially wolves, are one of those animals where they blend in. But we definitely heard things up the track or up the path, and the dog told us everything that we needed to know. Because it's not like he's not going to do that with a grouse.
No.
You know, it's going to be a bear. It's going to be a wolf. It's not going to be even a fox. Like fox. Dogs don't panic as much with a fox, which is not a good thing. But because a fox can definitely take off with a little dog. But
yeah, but a fox usually isn't going to fuck with you.
Mountain lion maybe. Either way, it's some kind of predator that would cause one of us a lot of harm.
Yeah.
So we're like, fuck this.
Well,
we turned around, I walked in the back, and basically like looked over my shoulder constantly because they'll follow you sometimes.
Yeah, wolves are...
everything was fine. Thankfully, the dog listened to us.
The thing about wolves that make them so scary is normally you won't see them unless they want you to see them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're that smart when they hunt in packs. They'll distract you, like, oh, I see him, and you're like, okay, yeah, you see him, but you don't see these two. Like, Like
Right. It's like the raptors from Jurassic Park.
Oh, exactly. 100% that way. Clever girl.
Oh man. Well, and didn't Ryan Johnson we had on the podcast
Yeah.
one of the earlier
He got
the he had a story about wolves
he got
with his
tracked by a
dogs.
couple wolves, and said
No joke.
said he got circled. They circled him, and luckily they left him alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and I think he had one of his dogs with. I think Luna was with, which is one of his huskies.
Damn.
It's no joke, man. And honestly, I think it's a good thing. At the risk of going on a bit of a tangent here, I think it's really good for us to be humbled every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like when you live in the cities for too long, you just forget how vulnerable we are.
Well, yeah. Humans are pretty pathetic in the grand scheme of things. Like,
Dude, we are meat bags.
we have
blood meat bags.
we have two things going for us. We have fucking thumbs, and we have a brain. That's it.
Yeah.
Our hair doesn't even
That's
keep
it.
us warm. If I was to go outside right now, I'll freeze. But my Saint Bernard could be out there all day and he'd be fine.
Your Saint
we have-
Bernard could be in sub-zero temperatures
Oh,
for
yeah.
7 days a week. He'd be fine.
Oh, easily. We don't have claws. I mean, our fingernails don't really do shit to us. We can't fly. We can swim, but not for very long. We can't breathe underwater. If we fall from 6 feet high and land wrong, we die. I could take my cat onto the roof of our house and throw her as hard as I can, and she'd fucking walk away unscathed.
100%.
If I
usually. Depends how
usually.
fat the cat is, but...
Eddie's like 6 pounds, so she'd be fine. But it's like,
Yeah.
if I get out of bed wrong, my entire day could be over right there. You know, like
It's
that's
like,
how.
well,
Like
I
shit.
guess I'm
There goes
sitting
my.
all day today.
Yeah, there goes my back. I can't do shit now. That
Well, I
happened
mean,
to
you notice how earlier in the podcast I was saying how I had a hot pad on my lower back and a
Yeah.
heated corn bag on my knee?
Yep.
I did
Oh,
jack
exactly.
shit that day.
Exactly. It's the same
I did
fucking
nothing
thing.
special.
I
man.
was sick just sitting on the couch watching movies, and I stood up and I got a little lightheaded. I'm like, oh my god, I moved. Like, I gotta sit
Yeah,
back down.
It makes you wonder, like, are we the dodo bird that just figured out how to survive?
Yeah, pretty much until we fuck ourselves into extinction. But
It's just like we're so freaking smart that we're the dodo bird, but we're a brilliant dodo bird, so we just figured out how to make it work.
yeah, that's something like that. We
and
figured
also
out fire,
because
and that was about that.
We don't just have one mating season a year. We can mate every single month.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that doesn't hurt our survival chances either.
Well, as a male, we could mate every single day, like 10 times a day, and be fun.
Right,
fucking
but
fine.
like if you're looking at the female population,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the cycle works monthly, which is kind of incredible. Like there really aren't a whole lot of other species that can mate that go in a cycle monthly.
Oh, true. Very
Crazy.
true. And I will say this too, like our mating ritual compared to animals isn't even that cool. Like if you look at peacocks and they're like, look at my big beautiful feathers, like do you find me attractive and all that, and we're all just like, what's up, girl, you want to fuck? And like there's nothing cool about that.
It's like, yeah, if you're a bird, you sing a song or you
Yeah,
plumage.
fluff up your feathers and look all awesome.
But there's some dark shit that happens in the animal kingdom. There's a lot of
yeah.
rape. So
Oh,
I don't feel like
absolutely.
humans are doing too bad.
No, we still have a lot of rape, but
we do too much. Any rape is too much rape.
oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, like we've got romantic comedies, so I mean, clearly we're not that bad.
That's true. At least we're smart enough to know that rape is bad.
Yeah, we've got that much figured.
We got that going for us. We got that's the big
Consent
brain.
is just kind of a. It's still a little bit of a gray area for some.
Yeah, some people still haven't figured out the whole like keep your hands to yourself thing, but
No means
Whatever.
no.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, no podcast is complete without joking about rape.
Without a little bit of cringe,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Great. That's great.
I think I know why we barely have 100 people that watch this.
Because we need to be more risque. Is that it? We need the boobs.
Man.
Like let's just face it. We got wives with great cans. We gotta gotta get them to just shake some boobs in the background. We'll make
just
that
do,
the thumbnail.
We'll do like
View count
commercial
will just
breaks.
skyrocket.
5 minutes of
Commercial break.
podcasting, 1 minute of tits.
And that 1 minute of tits will be advertising dad mods, right?
Yeah, dad mods, and then because we got a shout out to our sponsor, like prevented by Super Clean Titties.
Perfect.
Done. Next segment.
So I wonder how you could do that. So there's boobs. It's like, do you do D, A, D? But then the other one's 4-letter words. So how does that work? So it's like you do M-O-D, because you got to use the space between the titties.
We need one more woman. Then we need one more.
To just do an S.
Yeah, just do a big S.
I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere, but I don't think I'm gonna touch that. Jesus Christ.
God,
so, viewers
part of
at
the
home, if you've got anybody that you would like to qualify for being the third, let us
the
know.
S.
Send us a DM, nudes, please.
Yes, swipe right on us and let us know.
We're beginning our process.
This is how we make it big, man. We just post up on Craigslist looking for the perfect S.
Perfect S.
Yeah,
Okay. Whatever that is. Jesus Christ.
it could work. I don't know. I mean, it worked out for the man. It worked out for the Man Show. That was on the air for so many years.
In a very different time.
True.
A little bit pre-Me Too.
Yeah.
Now, what is Kimmel's kind of woke, which is hilarious. How do you go from doing the Man Show to being woke?
How do you go from giggling about juggies to like
juggies,
you need to respect
midgets,
women, and you're like, wait a second.
Blackface.
You had a show of a little kid who's like 12 or 13 trying to buy alcohol from attractive women.
Yes.
Like, that was an entire segment of your show, and now you're like, we need to respect everybody and be more mature.
Every single show had big-breasted women jumping on trampolines.
Yeah. That's what. See, I'm telling you, that's what we need.
Well, and you know, here's the thing. Like, is it really such a crime? I mean, the women took the job.
That's
They're
true.
like, OnlyFans skyrocketed in membership. Like, women are more than happy to flash tits and you know, be eye candy.
Look at Hooters.
I mean, isn't it more regressive to not allow them to exercise their rights to flash their boobs?
Oh yeah, I think they're 100% right with that.
We would be more progressive to have women flashing knockers on our show than not.
Okay, I
we
see
would
that,
be more progressive.
Yeah, we should make that happen.
Something here.
Yeah, we should set the bar. We should set the standard. Like,
with our wife's permission, because we respect them. Maybe they're the knockers. I don't know.
About that. I mean, we do live in a college town, so there's plenty of opportunity. But
and now the viewers at home are Googling, you know, Jake Lindquist wife, Donnie Allen wife. Like, interesting. What do they look like? What I want to see the breast.
That explains why I get all the
face it, we want to see every breast anyway. So.
That's true, except for my own.
Yeah. Because it's got a big swastika tattooed on it.
Just too much hair.
Yeah,
like,
hair in
awesome.
the shape of a swastika. It just naturally grows that way.
Oh God!
Like, I just like really off to a bad start.
I didn't even shave. It's just what the hell. But if I lay on my side, it's the peace symbol from Egypt. I'm only racist if I walk around. Shirt off.
Can't go to the beach.
No, that's fine. I don't like going to the beach anyways. I don't like sand. I don't like sand or glitter, and it's pretty much the same shit.
It is pretty much the same thing.
Fucking gets everywhere.
Man,
and
do you got anything else to share with the people, or should we wrap this thing up?
No, unfortunately, I don't. Like I said, I ordered some BMW parts, and that's about where I'm at with that.
Yeah, if I had a capture card, here's the problem, you guys. Like, basically, right now, I'm on a cell phone. You're on your laptop, so you've got what you're supposed to have. I don't have a capture card, so I'm not filming on my nice DSLR, which also means that, like, I'm not able to screen share, so we can't do Marketplace, we can't do all these things.
True.
So, realize, like, oh shit, we should probably have 2 capture cards.
Yeah, we'll have to buy another one.
That we can do this, but... Yep, so otherwise I'd have a little bit more that we could talk about, that we could share, but no sense in us just kind of rambling about nonsense, even though that is most of our podcast.
No, we got a good segment lined up, okay? We just need a trampoline and some boobs.
Yeah, it's true. We need to have our own juggies.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should take the juggy segment and do some deep fakes. We'll have, like, Martha Stewart as one of them.
Oh, God.
What would be the other ones? Queen of England.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, perfect. No, Hillary Clinton and Sarah Palin. That way we like both political parties have a little bit of representation.
There you go.
Everybody's included.
Yeah, they're both psychotic.
We'll have Tulsi Gabbard for the independents. She doesn't even need to be deep fake. She's just that smoking.
Just like your thing.
Jesus Christ. All right, guys.
And on that bombshell.
Hey, if you're still with us, that's a miracle.
And
we thank
if you're
you
not, that's whatever.
for sitting in for another Brews with the Dudes episode. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, this turned out pretty good. If it didn't, we're going to try something different.
Again.
Alright, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.